Zhang Zui, let me ask you this for real. Are you my love strategist or a spy Chen Yuki sent to get me killed? I slammed my phone down hard onto the glass table, glaring at the young man lounging casually across from me. Be a good girl, Jiruo, open your mouth. The shrimp will get cold and lose its sweetness. Zhang Zui's voice stayed low and warm, smooth as flowing water beneath drifting clouds. He didn't seem the least bit bothered by my fury. Dead. He carefully dipped the snow-white shrimp he'd just peeled into the specially mixed dipping sauce and lifted it right to my lips. His eyes were crystal clear and utterly innocent. What did I ever do to you? I'm your closest friend in the whole world. Closest friend. The kind who eggs me on. You told me to text Chen Yuki at 3 in the morning. Explain yourself. I grudgingly opened my mouth, swallowed the shrimp, and chewed it like I was grinding my enemy's bones between my teeth. It was you who told me to send that message. Chen Yuki, the night is so bright, the blanket warm and the pillow soft. I hope you sleep well. Think of me, okay? Said. You said it would show special care, that he'd see I was thinking about him, even in the dead of night. And what happened? The second I borrowed someone else's phone to call him, he cursed me out to my face, called me a neurotic busybody, with too much time on my hands, then blocked me on the spot. Zhang Zui let out a soft chuckle, pulled out a wet wipe, and gently dabbed the stray drop of sauce from the corner of my mouth. His movements were so natural, so tender that half my anger melted away, without me even realizing it. It was just a small, unexpected hiccup. Jiruo, try to calm down and think it through. A man with a solid career like Chen Yuki carries enormous daily pressure. Occasional insomnia or irritability is completely normal. I told you to message him at that hour so he'd feel you were right there with him. Even in the quietest, darkest moments of the night. In psychology, it's called the anchoring effect. He was probably just exhausted last night, in a bad mood. The phone vibrated, and he accidentally hit the block button. Don't overthink it and torture yourself over nothing. It was an honest mistake. You think I'm 3 years old? I snapped. Tang Jue, it's obvious he finds me annoying like a leech that won't let go. Stop frowning. You'll get old fast, and then you won't look good in a dress. Zhang Zui reached out with his long, slender fingers and gently pressed the spot between my brows, soothing me. If it wasn't an accident, then he's definitely playing hard to keep you hooked. I'm furious. I'm about to explode. Look at your phone. That little Lin Kier just posted a photo in her circle of friends. They're having afternoon tea at a private club, and she deliberately caught half his familiar watch in the frame. It's pure green tea bitch behavior, and I refuse to swallow it. I yanked at my own ear, so wronged I wanted to cry. If you can't accept it, then tonight I'll take you to get justice. I remember young Master Wang is throwing a birthday banquet at the Dijing Hotel tonight. Chen Yuki runs in their business circle, so he and that Lin girl will definitely show up. If you want to go, I'll take you right now and help you put on a show. Says, for how to handle them. I've already come up with a perfect battle plan for you. What plan? Tell me quickly so I can see if it's actually reliable. I'm already freezing at the thought of your so-called love schemes. I leaned forward like a drowning person grabbing a lifeline. This time I swear on my honor, it will be a spectacular success. At the banquet later, you absolutely cannot show any weakness. Do not try to please him, or pour drinks for him, like you always do. Zen are like that. The easier something is to get, the more they take it for granted and never cherish it. You have to be cold, arrogant, and treat him like thin air. When you see him standing there, walk straight up, lift your chin, stare him dead in the eyes, and say each word clearly. Then, Yuke, who do you think you are to ignore my messages? If you're so capable, stay right there, while I watch how long you can keep up this little act with your precious foster sister. Say it straight to his face in front of everyone. Isn't that too harsh? I swallowed nervously. Tang Zui, what if he loses face and really gets angry with me? Listen to me. Do you trust me? Dang, Zui took my wrist, his gaze extremely serious and resolute. Yes, but there's no but. You have to show dominance. Gen Yuki is used to you worshipping him. But you've endured it for 3 whole years. Suddenly flipping the script and turning 180 will definitely shock him. That shock will spark curiosity. He'll start wondering why you changed. And in the end his mind will be completely captured by you. Trust me, Juruo, this is a preemptive psychological strike. Chen Yuki will look at you with completely new eyes. Fine. I'll listen to you. Tonight I'll do it properly. I can't let that Lin Kier get away with looking so smug. The good girl. So, finish this warm glass of milk, then I'll take you to pick out an evening gown and get your makeup done beautifully. Save your strength for a magnificent battle tonight. Dang Zui smiled and ruffled my hair. A fleeting, cunning glint passed through his eyes, one I never noticed. 2 hours later, in the grand ballroom on the top floor of the luxurious Dijing Hotel, the elegant strains of a symphony floated through the air while crystal chandeliers cast sparkling light over the expensive evening wear of the city's elite. I took a deep breath, linked arms with Tang Jue, and stepped into the hall, heart pounding. Remember every single word I told you this afternoon. Dang, Zui leaned down and whispered right beside my ear, his warm breath brushing my earlobe. Gold, arrogant, overwhelming presence, curse him to his face. I muttered the mantra under my breath. My gaze swept the room and quickly locked onto the target. Gen Yuki stood on the balcony corner, wine glass of red in hand, his custom-tailored suit accentuating his tall, powerful frame. But what made my eyes nearly burst with rage was Lin Kier standing glued to his side. Her pure white, delicate dress fluttered lightly with every soft giggle, and her hand accidentally brushed his arm. The opportunity is here. Charge straight in, Juruo. Dan. Zui gave my hand a light squeeze, eyes full of encouraging confidence. I lifted my chin, the sharp clicks of my designer high heels ringing out as I strode toward them. Gen Yuki's business friends saw me marching over and immediately fell silent, their eyes carrying traces of mockery as they nudged each other, ready for a good show. Then Yuki. I called out sharply, forcing my voice as low and menacing as possible. He turned, brows knitting into a tight line the instant he saw my face. Lu Juruo, are you having me followed now? What kind of crazy stunt are you pulling by showing up here? I took a deep breath and recited the lines Tang Ji had drilled into me, loud and clear. Gen Yuki. Who do you think you are to ignore my messages? If you're so capable, stay right there, while I watch how long you can keep up this little act with your precious foster sister. The moment the words left my mouth, the entire space fell into dead silence. Even the music seemed to fade. A few mocking laughs rose from his friends. Gen Yuki's face darkened like the bottom of a pot. He looked at me as if I were a disease-carrying germ. Are you mentally ill, Lu Juruo? Did you take the wrong medication or are you still drunk? Or have you just developed delusions of grandeur? Zu, are you calling mentally ill? I froze. Dang Zui's script had never mentioned him reacting this violently. He was supposed to be curious, not furious. The only then did Lin Kier timidly step forward half a pace, half hiding behind Chen Yuki's back. Her small, delicate hand lightly clutched his sleeve as her sweet, pitiful voice rang out, eyes glistening with unshed tears. Sister Juruo, please don't raise your voice in a crowded place like this. People will laugh. Between me and Brother Yuki, everything is completely innocent. We only came together to the banquet on behalf of the company to meet partners. You're the noble young Heiress who can have anything she wants, while I'm just an ordinary employee trying to work hard. Don't let baseless jealousy make you imagine things and embarrass Brother Yuki in front of everyone. If you're angry, pour it all on me. I beg you stop making things difficult for him. He's already under so much pressure. Who asked you to speak? I glared at Lin Kier. What right do you have to butt into my business? Playing the poor, wronged victim for who to see? Enough. Lu Juruo. Zen, Yuki roared, swinging his arm and shoving me away hard. The force of a man's strength sent me staggering back several steps, my heels slipping on the polished floor, just as I thought I was about to fall in front of everyone. A steady arm wrapped around my waist from behind, carrying the familiar faint scent of mint and sandalwood, catching me in time. It was Tang Jie. Z said nothing wrong. Why are you raising your hands on her? Tang Zui's voice was calm. Blocked me for no reasons, sneaked off with her. And now you're scolding me and shoving me. I trembled as I questioned him, eyes already red. So, what if I shoved you? Chen Yuki warned. Lu Jurio, this is my final warning. Listen carefully. I have never liked you. 8. Now looking at your face disgusts me. And in the future I will never like a woman like you. Stop using these ridiculous, childish, stupid tricks to get my attention. The way you've clung to me, texting and harassing me day and night for 3 years only makes me feel nauseated and extremely annoyed. In my eyes, your entire character isn't even worth one finger of Kier's. From now on, please keep what little self-respect you have left. Get out of my sight and never appear in front of me or Kier again. Every cold, ruthless word stabbed into my chest like 10,000 knives. My face drained of all color. My throat tightened with bitterness. I couldn't utter a single word in retort. The people around us began pointing and whispering, their voices stabbing straight into my ears. Oh my God, look at her. What a thick-skinned girl, publicly humiliated and cursed out by a man, yet she still insists on chasing him. I heard she's the precious daughter of the Liu family. A proper young heiress acting like a lapdog, throwing away all the dignity of our upper circle. 3 years of abandoning all shame to chase after him, only to get a bucket of cold water in return. I bit my lower lip until it bled, wanting to turn and run, but my legs felt filled with lead, nailed to the floor. At that moment, the arm around my waist tightened. Tang Zui slowly pulled me behind him, shielding me from every mocking and malicious stare in the crowd. Zurio, don't cry. I'm here. Tang Zui's usual gentle voice rang out clearly amid the noisy ballroom. He tilted his head slightly and spoke to me in the softest tone. I already explained it to you this afternoon. Trash that can't tell right from wrong and has no eyes to see people isn't worth you wasting any heartache on. Your sincere feelings were fed to the dogs. Chen Yuki heard that and immediately frowned, shifting his gaze to Tang Zui with a sneer full of ridicule. I thought it was some big shot. Turns out it's just the second leech. Tang Zui, you follow Lu Juro around all year like a shadow, living off her charity. What right do you have to lecture me here? Then, Zui didn't get angry. The corner of his mouth lifted in an extremely gentle smile, but the depths of his eyes were terrifyingly cold. Zui lightly brushed the stray lock of hair from my forehead, then turned to meet Chen Yuki's eyes straight on and spoke slowly, word by word. What right, you ask? Zang. Zui let out a soft laugh, the end of the sound drawn out with obvious mockery. Zui ignored the crowd eagerly watching the drama, calmly straightened the lapels of my coat, then looked Chen Yuki dead in the face. The right of someone who has always held her in the palm of his hand, only to watch a blind fool trample all over her. Chen Yuki, you mock her for clinging to you, you call her annoying, fine. From this second onward, even if you beg her to look at you, you won't have the chance anymore. What the hell are you rambling about, Tang Jie? Chen Yuki laughed scornfully, pointing straight at his face. Do you think I need Lu Juruo to look at me? Everyone knows you're just a freeloader living off the Liu family, only getting food and clothes, because Juruo took pity on you. You're biting the hand that feeds you to earn favor with your master. Let me tell you, even if a woman like her threw herself at me, I'd still feel sick. Brother Yuki, calm down. Brother Tangzai only spoke out of pity for Sister Juruo. Then, Kier put on her fragile little face again, clinging tightly to Chen Yuki's arm, her voice coy. Brother Tangzui, you should advise Sister Juruo to let go. Forcing love never brings happiness. If she keeps clinging to Brother Yuki like this, it'll only make things harder for her when he finds a real girlfriend later. We really don't want to hurt her. Shut your mouth right now. I wanted to rush forward and slap that fake little mouth to vent the rage choking my throat. But Tang Zui firmly held my waist and pulled me into his warm chest. Zero. Be good. Don't hurt your own hand over worthless trash. Tang Zui's deep, warm voice sounded right above my head, carrying no anger toward them at all, only endless patience and coaxing. Look. The air here is filthy. That cheap perfume is ruining the evening gown I carefully chose for you. This place isn't worth another single tear from you. Let's go home. But did you hear what they said about me? I sobbed, tears of humiliation finally spilling over. There's no but. Close your eyes and stop looking at this filth. Dang. Zui raised a large hand to cover my eyes, then coldly lifted his chin toward Chen Yuki, his voice dropping sharp as a blade. Chen Yuki. Remember every piece of garbage that just came out of your mouth today. I hope that rock-solid career you're so proud of is big enough to bear the price of insulting my Juruo. Wishing you two dogs a long and happy life together. May you grow old side by side. With that, Tang Zui turned decisively, half embracing, half supporting me as he walked out of the ballroom under the stunned gazes of everyone present. Stand right there, you bastard. Who the hell are you threatening? Chen Yuki's roar came from behind. But Tang Zui acted as if he hadn't heard a thing, his steps steady as he led me straight to the parking lot. The moment we stepped into the private space of the car, every last bit of my pride shattered. I buried my face in my hands and burst into loud sobs. So stupid, aren't I? Tang Zui scolded me. Curse me to my face so I can wake up. For 3 whole years I lowered myself, cooked meals and brought them to his company, used my own money to buy gifts for his partners, so he could score points, even knelt and begged my father to hand over a fat project to his company. And in his eyes, I turned into nothing but disgusting trash. I lost to some random low-level employee who only knows how to fake cry. I can't accept it. Dang. Zui didn't start the car right away. He reached out, pulled a few tissues, gently pried my hands away from my face, and carefully wiped every tear that had smudged my makeup. The heart hatch in his eyes made my chest tighten painfully. Why would I scold you? My Juru is so good, so obedient. The only one blind here is that worthless scum. Dang, Zui's voice was light and gentle, as if soothing a wronged child. You're not stupid. You were just too sincere, and you gave that sincerity to the wrong person, to someone without a heart. As for losing to her, Juruo, a swan never has to compete with a duck to prove its worth. You didn't lose at all. They're a perfect match. Trash belongs in the trash can. You should be happy you finally threw that garbage out of your life. Then, why did you push me to go make a scene? Why did you give me that terrible script and let me humiliate myself in front of everyone? You knew Chen Yuki hated me. Why did you push me into the fire? I pounded his chest with my fists, so wronged I could barely breathe. Dang, Zui let me hit him, his hand still patiently stroking my messy hair, ignoring how I wrinkled his expensive shirt. Zuruo, hit harder if it makes you feel better. But listen to my explanation first. Zui caught my flailing hands and pressed them to his cheeks. I knew he hated you. I knew if you did that, he would use it to humiliate you. But if I didn't, would you have let go? If I kept coaxing you, letting you keep fantasizing, and letting him grind away your self-respect, when would you ever wake up? It hurts me to see you cry. But I'd rather let you feel bone-deep pain today, so you can finally see his true disgusting face, than watch you waste your entire youth on a piece of filth. Do you understand how hard this is for me? Hearing those heartfelt words, I froze. Tears still fell, but all my resentment vanished completely. So, he hadn't tricked me because he was foolish. He had prescribed the strongest medicine to cure my stupid, blind infatuation once and for all. Zhang Zui, it hurts so much. My heart really hurts. Sobbed, and leaned my head heavily against his shoulder, crying in waves. I know my baby is hurting. Go ahead and cry it all out tonight. Starting tomorrow, my Lu Juruo will once again be the proudest, most radiant princess. Swear on my life that every single person who dared humiliate you today will kneel on the ground and beg for your forgiveness, one by one. Trust me. Leave everything to me, okay? Z's arms were so warm, his voice so gentle, that the heavy stone crushing my chest eased a little. I squeezed my eyes shut and nodded faintly in his embrace, my breathing gradually evening out from sheer exhaustion after the emotional battlefield. Only when I had fallen into a deep sleep did Tang Zui gently adjust my position for comfort and carefully drape his own coat over me. The instant he confirmed I was sound asleep, the gentle warmth surrounding him shattered. The temperature inside the car seemed to drop to freezing. His once clear eyes turned pitch black and razor sharp like poisoned blades. He pulled out his phone and dialed a number. The other end picked up instantly with absolute deference. "The young master, your orders. Prepare to move." Zay's voice had lost every trace of warmth. It was ice cold enough to chill the bones. Dig up every single document on the cooperation projects between the Liu family company and Chen Yuki's conglomerate over the past 3 years. Immediately leak the evidence of that director's embezzlement to the press. I want his company's stock to crash the moment the market opens tomorrow morning. Young master. And the girl named Lin Kier. Z let out a soft, almost inaudible laugh. His fingers still tenderly stroked my tear-flushed cheek, but his words were utterly ruthless. Z likes playing the pure white lotus, doesn't she? Dig up her entire history of paid transactions from her university days, and see exactly how much that purity was sold for. Buy the trending searches and release them at the exact moment Chen Yuki's stock hits rock bottom. I want to see how long that scum can keep up his little drama once his wallet is on fire and she's exposed. Dud. Young master. Dang. Zui hung up and tossed the phone onto the passenger seat. He leaned down and placed an extremely gentle kiss on my forehead, whispering a sentence that made even the night itself tremble. Good girl, Juro. This chess game I set up is almost over, just sleep soundly. When you wake up tomorrow, I'll have cleaned up all the trash and laid out the red carpet straight into your heart. Be good, Juro, open your mouth and eat some pork rib porridge. I've been simmering it until perfectly tender since 4 in the morning. It's very good for your stomach. The gentle whisper and the rich aroma of hot porridge woke me. I rubbed my eyes and saw Tang Zui sitting on the edge of the bed, holding a steaming bowl of porridge. Tang Zui. Why am I at your place? Last night you cried until you were exhausted and fell asleep in the car. I couldn't bear to wake you. And I didn't want to take you back to the Liu family looking like a mess. So, I brought you straight to my apartment. I was afraid your parents would worry. Dang, Zui carefully blew on a spoonful of porridge, brought it to my lips, and fed me after tasting it first. I obediently opened my mouth and swallowed. The sweet savory flavor of the tender ribs spread through me, warming my chest. Dang Zui, thank you. If you hadn't stood up for me last night, I would have been so humiliated, I'd want to slam my head into the ground. Silly girl, standing by your side is only natural. But let me ask you honestly, now that you're awake, has your brain been reset? Do you still want to bring lunchboxes and wait for that scum in his company lobby? Z lightly flicked my forehead, eyes full of patient coaxing. Never again. I gritted my teeth, grabbed the glass of water on the bedside table, and drank a large gulp. I'm completely awake now. Even if Liu Jiruo ends up single forever, I will never pick up the trash I already threw away. Once I finish eating, the first thing I'm doing is calling my father's lawyer to withdraw every single cent of investment from his company. My family's money is better fed to dogs than wasted on an ungrateful, treacherous coward. That's the spirit, that's my baby. Dang, Zui laughed heartily and reached out to smooth my messy hair. But about calling the lawyer to withdraw the investment, you probably don't need to trouble yourself anymore. It's not. I looked at him in confusion. Before Tang Zui could answer, my phone on the nightstand rang loudly. The screen lit up with the name Chen Yuki. Frowned, and reached to reject the call, but Tang Zui was faster. He snatched the phone, answered it directly, and put it on speaker. Lu Jiruo, you are truly vicious, you went too far, jealousy has limits, you know. What do you gain by forcing my company into a dead end? Chen Yuki's hoarse, panicked roar exploded through the speaker. Stunned. I frowned and shot back, what the hell are you barking about? Did you forget your medication this morning? When did I force your company into a dead end? You still dare to pretend to be innocent. This morning the economic investigation team showed up and sealed all the documents for my Azure Bay project. All the material suppliers suddenly terminated contracts and demanded immediate payment. Stock has already dropped 30%. Do you know that? Did you go home angry last night, urge your father to pull the investment, and leak fake news to the press? You couldn't have me, so you decided to destroy everything, didn't you? Zen Yuki, stop flattering yourself. I laughed coldly. A strange sense of satisfaction spread through my body. The whatever happened to your Azure Bay project is because your own people embezzled building materials. Seven has eyes. So the investigators came knocking. As for pulling the investment, yes, I was about to do that. Day. I will officially announce the complete withdrawal. Not a single cent stays with you. Lu Jiruo, don't go too far. You know this project is the heart and soul of me and Kenny. Right now Kenny is crying her eyes out in the hospital because netizens dug up and slandered her past. Secret photos from her university days are all over the news. You bought the trending searches and did this, didn't you? You vicious, cruel woman. From the other end came Lin Kier's fake, choked sobs. Brother Yuki, stop scolding Sister Jiruo. See, must have misunderstood me. I don't mind being called a homewrecker or a paid escort. Please beg her to save the company. Your life's work can't be ruined like this. Sid, you hear that, Jiruo? Kenny is so kind and understanding. You tried to harm her, doesn't your conscience hurt at all? I order you. Immediately issue a clarification online, take down the trending searches, and tell your father to inject emergency capital back into my company to stabilize the stock price. If you obediently do as I say, I will consider forgiving your impulsive behavior last night. You really are beyond saving. I laughed out loud in fury. Your Lin Kier is so pure and innocent, take her home and enjoy her all you want. I have neither the time nor the money to buy trending searches to slander some nameless little side piece. And you want me to pour capital back in? Get on your knees, kowtow 3 times, and call me grandma. I still wouldn't give you a single cent. Get lost. Lu Jiruo, you. Just as Chen Yuki was about to roar again, Tang Zui calmly reached over and took the phone from my hand. The corner of his mouth curved into an extremely bewitching smile. His calm voice carried a chilling murderous intent. Good morning, President Chen. Your voice sounds rather heated. I wonder if you like the little gifts I sent you at dawn. The other end fell silent for several seconds. Then Chen Yuki exploded like a cornered beast. Tang Zui, what are you doing next to her right now? You bastard, you orchestrated all of this, didn't you? Who the hell are you to freeze my suppliers? Where did you get that evidence? Who am I? You're not qualified to know. Tang Zui's voice was mild as he gently took my hand and turned my palm upward, lightly tracing my fingers with his own. Zen Yuki, I already warned you last night. This is the price of insulting my Jiruo. A shabby little company like yours can't bear it. But the words coming through the phone were as lethal as an Ashura demanding a life. This was merely the morning appetizer, President Chen. Savor it thoroughly and get ready to prepare the breach of contract compensation. Don't let your company go bankrupt too soon. The real fun is still a long way ahead. You bastard, don't get smug. Just wait, I won't let you off the hook. Zhang Zui decisively hung up, and for good measure, blocked Chen Yuki's number as well. He tossed the phone aside, then turned back to me with eyes as clear and innocent as if no massacre had just taken place. Here, open your mouth. This bowl of porridge is really about to get cold. I stared blankly, swallowed the spoonful, and stammered, Tang Zui. Did you really cause his company to collapse and make all those trending scandals about Lin Kier go viral? Do you feel sorry for him? Tang Zui frowned slightly, the spoon in his hand pausing for a moment. So, not at all. I'm actually extremely satisfied. They got exactly what they deserved. I waved my hands quickly, eyes sparkling with excitement. But, Tang Ji, where did you get the power to lock down Chen Yuki's entire supply chain so fast? You even dug up proof of internal embezzlement inside his company. Just who exactly are you, my unbeatable ultimate best friend? Tang Zui chuckled softly, and used his thumb to wipe away the bit of porridge at the corner of my mouth. These minor issues can be handled with a few family connections. As long as it makes you happy, tearing that company to shreds is no big deal at all. Hit it so well. We've been best friends for 10 years, and I never knew your family held such terrifying power. I muttered, my heart flooding with warmth, security, and relief. Zhang Zui set the empty bowl on the table. Then, he suddenly leaned forward, planting both hands on the mattress, and caging me in the small space between his chest and the headboard. His breath, carrying a faint scent of mint mixed with sandalwood, washed straight over my face, making my heart skip a hard beat. Durio. His voice was low and husky, eyes locking onto mine, deep, burning, and intense. Then, why are you suddenly getting so close? I shrank back awkwardly, not daring to meet his gaze. Tell me, Dan. Now that all the trash has been cleaned up, and you've officially returned to your dazzling single status, Tang Zui tilted his head slightly, rubbing the tip of his nose gently against my cheek. His husky voice carried a teasing smile. So, can I submit my application for the boyfriend position by your side? For the past 3 years I've played your ridiculous love strategist, plotting every single step. Did you really think I had that much free time on my hands? What are you joking about, Tang Zui? My face flushed bright red like a boiled shrimp. I'm not joking. I've waited patiently for 3 years, watching you stumble and finally wake up on your own. That you're clear-headed. I don't want to be just best friends anymore. Dan Zui's large hand slid down, his 10 fingers intertwining tightly with mine as he whispered the final blow. This afternoon I'll take you to meet the most powerful figure in the upper circle to completely crush Chen Yuki. Prepare yourself mentally. Tang Zui, have you hit your head somewhere? We've been best friends for 10 years. I jumped in shock and shoved hard against his chest, scrambling backward until I nearly fell off the edge of the bed. I'm completely sober. Tang Zui showed not a single crack in his patience. He reached out and gently caught my wrist to steady me, his voice soft as if coaxing a child. Zeus, that brilliant mind of the Luo family, young Heiress, and think about it. Would any normal guy willingly spend 10 whole years as someone's driver, chef, and personal anger dumpster without any ulterior motives? I don't lack friends. I only lack one girlfriend named Lu Juruo. But this is too sudden. I just went through a breakup and my brain is still on strike here. I fumbled for excuses, my face burning like it was on fire. Breakup. You never even had him. So where's the breakup? At most you just threw away a bad habit and cleaned out a dark corner of your life. Dang, Zui laughed and lightly flicked the tip of my nose. I'm not forcing you to agree right now. I've submitted my application, you can take your time reviewing it. For now go wash your face and change clothes. I've already had someone bring a new dress to the door. This afternoon I'll take you to watch a good show. I guarantee you'll feel so refreshed you'll forget every last trouble. There, are we going? What show? I asked curiously. Do you meet someone who can make Chen Yuki kneel and lick your high heels clean? Interested, Tang Zui raised an eyebrow, his half-smile mysterious, yet incredibly charming. Of course, why wouldn't I go? I gritted my teeth and answered. 3 hours later, Tang Zui's car stopped in front of the gates of the Dizun Private Club, the holy land of the ultra-wealthy elite. A place where even money couldn't necessarily buy membership. The moment I stepped out of the car, I heard a hoarse, desperate voice that grated on the ears coming from the security booth. "Dant. Let me in, I really have important business with President Wang. Do you know who I am? I'm the chairman of the Chen Group. Damn it, let go of me. Let me inside." I froze. the man being hoisted by the armpits by two burly security guards, and thrown out the gate like a bag of trash hair, a mess, clothes disheveled. Tytorn was none other than Chen Yuki. Just this morning he had been roaring at me over the phone. By afternoon he already looked this haggard. The second he lifted his head, Chen Yuki's gaze collided with mine. Like a drowning man spotting a lifebuoy, he scrambled up frantically and charged toward me. Juro, you finally showed up. I knew you still cared about me. Before he could even touch the hem of my dress, Tang Zui stepped forward and delivered a swift kick straight to Chen Yuki's knee. A crisp crack rang out. The force was so strong that Chen Yuki screamed in pain and dropped straight to one knee on the cold marble floor, right in front of me. Filthy hand, had better stay away. Or, I won't mind crippling it for good. Tang Zi spoke coldly. His voice as chilling as if it came from the depths of hell, completely opposite to the gentle tone he used with me. He pulled me behind him for cover, took out a handkerchief, and meticulously wiped each of his fingers with a look of utter disgust on his face. It's you again, you bastard Tang Jui. What are you showing off for, relying on Lu Jiruo? Chen Yuki clutched his knee, lifting his bruised face to glare at Tang Zui before turning to me with a pitiful, pleading look. Jiruo, please tell your father to stop. I'm begging you. The stock price is plummeting non-stop, partners are canceling contracts, and even the banks are pressuring me for early repayment. My company is really about to go bankrupt. So, what does that have to do with me? I crossed my arms over my chest and looked down at his pathetic state with cold indifference. This morning I made it very clear. Your company's collapse is because of your own illegal dealings being punished by the law. Days for me, I simply withdrew my foolish investment. Even if you starve to death, don't come crying to me here. Durio, I know you're doing all this just to force me back to your side. You're jealous of Kaney and want to prove your power. Right, fine, you win. You've succeeded. Chen Yuki roared, his eyes bloodshot, saliva dripping from the corner of his mouth. Do you know? That despicable bitch Lin Kier this morning, when the trending news broke, and the investigators sealed the company. She cleaned out all the remaining cash from my safe and ran off with the project manager. He tricked me. She was only using me for my affection. I was stunned for a second before I couldn't hold back and burst out laughing. Oh my god, this is truly karma biting back. Chen Yuki, you trampled all over my self-respect for a lowly side piece, and now she's turned around and bitten you. How does it feel? Does it hurt? Does it make you sick? But you're mistaken. I didn't withdraw the investment to force you back, I did it to kick you straight down to the bottom of society. No, Jiruo, you still love me. For 3 years you loved me, with all your heart. How could you just stop loving me like that? Then, Yuki crawled forward on his knees, gritting his teeth against Tang Zai's murderous glare. I've seen that woman's true face clearly. Jiruo, can we start over? Please. Ask the Lu family to inject capital and save me. As long as the company survives, I swear I'll cut off all ties with other women. I'll marry you. I'll give you the position of chairman's wife that you've always wanted. Chen Yuki, do you think Lu Jiruo is a junkyard for scrap? I sneered. When you were successful, you called me annoying. Now that you're bankrupt and your side piece has run off with your money, you come back offering me an empty title as chairman's wife. Are you delusional? Or is there something wrong with your brain? Let me tell you, even if every man in the world dropped dead and I had to become a nun, I would never spare a single glance at trash like you again. Get lost out of my sight. Duruo, don't be so heartless. I know you're just throwing a tantrum because this leech put you up to it, right? Chen Yuki pointed frantically at Tang Jui. You're the Lu family heiress. How could you listen to a penniless freeloader? What can this bastard do besides follow you around like a shadow? What power does he have to protect you? You'd choose him over me. Tang Zui listened to the insults without a trace of anger. Instead, he laughed. He gripped my hand tightly, fingers interlacing with mine in an intimate hold. That's right, I did instigate her. So what? Tang Zui tilted his head and looked at Chen Yuki with half-lidded eyes, his voice dripping with mockery. President Chen, it seems your brain is full of soybean paste. So even now you still don't understand the situation, huh? Do you really think a small company like the Lu Group could single-handedly force major banks to demand early repayment and freeze the entire Chen Group supply chain in just a few hours this morning? You're overestimating the Lu family and underestimating your own stupidity. What do you mean? Chen Yuki looked dazed, his face suddenly turning deathly pale. At that exact moment, from inside the main gates of the Dizun Club, a manager dressed in an extremely luxurious tailcoat came rushing out in a panic. The second he saw Tang Zui, he bowed 90 degrees at the waist, his voice trembling with reverence. Young Master Tang, you've arrived. What an honor for our Dizun Club. Chairman Tang is waiting for you and the young miss inside the 4C's VIP room. These blind fools didn't recognize your status and made you stand outside listening to this garbage ranting it's all my fault. Please punish me as you see fit. Then, Yuki stood there as if struck by lightning, eyes wide as he stared at the manager, one of the most powerful figures in the business world, someone he would normally have to kneel and lick boots, to even approach now groveling and shaking before Tang Zui. Son, young Master Tang. Chairman Tang. Chen Yuki stammered, lips quivering, his gaze darting frantically between the manager and Tang Zui. So, this can't be. You're just a freeloading best friend. How could you possibly be? How is this possible? Tang Zui smiled, a smile that sent chills down the spine. He released my hand, took a step forward, and pressed the tip of his custom-made shoe down hard onto the back of Chen Yuki's hand that was braced against the ground. Sneering as he spoke word by word. Let me reintroduce myself. I am Tang Zui, the sole heir of the Tang Empire Group. The Crown Prince you were just screaming to meet their chairman. Chen Yuki let out a pained howl as his finger joints were crushed underfoot. But overwhelming terror choked any sound back down his throat. He looked up in horror at the young man he had once cursed as nothing but a shadow. Tang Zui, my ears hurt. Can we go inside now? I tugged lightly at his sleeve, barely holding back my laughter at the pathetic state of my enemy. Whatever my baby says, I obey. Tang Zui instantly withdrew his icy gaze and turned to me with a warm smile as gentle as spring sunlight. Let's go meet my grandfather. As for this piece of trash, Tang Zui glanced at the sweating manager and issued orders calmly. Manager Zhang. Yes, young Master Tang. Please give your instructions. The powerful manager stepped forward half a pace, bowing even lower, cold sweat dripping down his face. Drip that vest off him, and remove the Rolex watch from his wrist. Tang Zui casually reached up to adjust a stray lock of hair at my temple, his voice light yet utterly ruthless. If I'm not mistaken, all those expensive items were bought with my Juruo's own pocket money to help him save face. Since he's trash, he doesn't deserve to wear anything chosen by my baby. Then throw him out onto the main road. Also, relay my order. The Tang Group is officially imposing a full-scale blockade on Chen Yuki. Any bank, company or individual in the capital who dares lend him a single cent or reach out a hand to save him is declaring war on Tang Zui. I understand, young master. I will carry it out personally right away. Manager Zhang waved his hand, and the two security guards immediately rushed forward to pin Chen Yuki to the ground. Tang Zui, you have no right to do this. Juruo, say something. How can you bear to watch me end up ruined and penniless like this, Juruo? Chen Yuki struggled wildly as his coat was ripped off, howling miserably until his voice went hoarse. I looked coldly into his bloodshot, panicked eyes and ground out every word. Chen Yuki, let me be clear too. A pathetic sight like yours today, I wish I had seen it 3 years earlier. Manager Zhang quickly gagged him for me. His barking is making me nauseous. As the young miss commands, Chen Yuki's screams were instantly silenced. He was dragged out of the club gates like a defeated stray dog, disheveled and pathetic. Everything happened so fast that even as Tang Zui took my hand, and we stepped through the massive gilded doors of Dizun, I still felt a bit lightheaded, as if walking on clouds. Zhangze. Are you really the crown prince of the Tang group? I walked beside him down the red-carpeted hallway, my voice still trembling with disbelief. Or did you hire actors with a ton of money to stage this whole scene at the club gates just to scare him? The acting fees must have been expensive. I'll transfer the money back to you later. Zhang Zui suddenly stopped, turned and grabbed both my shoulders. He burst out laughing a laugh that was both doting and helpless. Seryo. Does that little head of yours only contain bloody soap opera scripts? Do you think I have so much money that I could bribe the manager of the biggest D-Zone club in the capital just to put on a cheap play? The fact that I'm the heir to the Tang group is 100% true. But we've been best friends for 10 years. You rode that rickety old bicycle to school, wore 100 yuan white t-shirts, and ate the boxed lunches I brought every day. You even got looked down on by the rich young ladies at school, as the poor boy clinging to Lu Juruo's skirt. You tricked me so thoroughly. My eyes widened, and I punched his chest lightly with my fist. Zhang Zui caught my tiny fist in his large palm, and pressed it against the left side of his chest, where his heart beat steadily. I didn't mean to trick you. I only hid my true identity because I was afraid. 10 years ago. You were the proud little princess who hated arrogant, rich young masters, the ones who threw their weight around and bullied others. If I had approached you back then flaunting my crown prince status, would you have given me the chance to carry your bag, buy you bubble tea, or do your homework for you? Seryo. I just wanted to stay by your side as the most ordinary person and protect you properly. Can you not be angry with me? The sincerity in Tang Zui's clear eyes made the tiny bit of resentment in my heart vanish in an instant. I bit my lip and nodded slightly. I'm not angry, I'm just a little shocked, that's all. Then now get ready, the person waiting for us in the VIP room is even more eager to meet you than I am. Zhang Zi smiled gently, ruffled my hair, and pushed open the exquisitely carved rosewood door ahead. Inside the most luxurious private room, an elderly man with snow-white hair, dressed in simple yet elegant silk attire, was leisurely brewing tea. The moment he saw us enter, his eyes lit up. He immediately set down the expensive celadon teapot and stood up abruptly. Little Juruo, my useless grandson, has finally brought you here. Come, let Grandpa take a good look at you. Oh dear, you've gotten so thin. Tang Zui, what kind of boyfriend are you, that you let my little girl look so haggard? I stood frozen in place, stammering. Chairman Tang, sir, what did you just call me? Grandpa. Chairman, what chairman? I've been watching from behind, while this kid Tang Zui played the poor best friend for 10 years. I've grown so impatient my hair turned white. Chairman. Tang laughed heartily, stepped forward, pulled me to sit on the soft sofa, and stuffed a sweet pastry straight into my hand. You don't know this, but to nurture his relationship with you, my heir actually begged me to hide his identity and play the role of a poor commoner. When you started following that Chen brat, he came home and smashed everything in sight, nearly tore down my entire group. Grandpa, you promised not to expose me. Zhang Zi's face flushed red as he hurried over to stop the old man. Get out of the way, and let me expose this scheming face of yours to little Juruo. Chairman Tang shoved Tang Zui aside and turned to me excitedly to spill the beans. Juruo, do you know that Azure Bay project of the Chen boy was a trap my grandson Tang Zui set up deliberately? He waited and prepared for 3 whole years, paving the way for that director to embezzle, just waiting for you to nod, so he could spring the net and crush the man's company in a single night. And that 3 in the morning text message yesterday, he had calculated it all in advance too. The 3 in the morning text message? What do you mean? I turned to look at Tang Zui in confusion. He covered his face with his hand and coughed lightly to cover it up. This scoundrel, Chairman Tang continued, investigated, and found out Chen Yuki was in an extremely important video conference with American partners last night to secure funding. He deliberately told you to borrow a strange number and call at the most critical moment to make Chen Yuki lose his temper and curse you out. Zero. My grandson is extremely cunning. He used the bitter flesh tactic to force you to see that man's true colors, so you would completely give him up. Our Tang family protects our own. The methods might be a bit ruthless, but for this old man's sake, please don't blame him. Dape, turning to look at the young man who always appeared so gentle and innocent standing there scratching his head. So, behind that harmless puppy face, hid such a deep, gray wolf. The entire process of me chasing Chen Yuki had been under his control from the very beginning. Zhang Zui, you calculated everything so meticulously. I didn't know whether to be angry or laugh. Zhang Zui walked over, knelt on one knee beside my sofa, and took both my hands, pressing them to his cheeks. His deep voice was filled with endless tenderness. I calculate against the entire world, but every single calculation has only one purpose: to protect you. Juruo, I was wrong. You can hit me, scold me, whatever you want, but please don't chase me away. Looking at his lowered, wronged eyes, my heart completely melted. I gently pulled my hands back, then placed them on top of his head and ruffled his hair. Set up. I never said I was angry. On the contrary, I should thank you for calculating everything on my behalf. Wonderful, wonderful. Chairman Tang slapped his thigh and laughed loudly. Since you two have cleared up all misunderstandings, Grandpa has a small meeting gift for you. Juro, open it and take a look. Z pushed a thick envelope of documents in front of me. I opened it curiously. The first thing I saw was the contract for the full transfer of Chen Group shares. Z, Grandpa, what is this? Isn't his company about to go bankrupt? I asked in shock. It is about to go bankrupt, but the shell still has value for acquisition. This morning Ning drove the stock price to the bottom. I had people buy up everything at rock bottom prices. The Chen Group now officially belongs to you, Lu Juruo. Grandpa is giving it to you as pocket money to play with. Whether you want to fire that Chen Yuki or turn him into a toilet cleaner in his own former company is entirely up to you. I held the documents worth hundreds of millions in my hands, a rush of ultimate revenge running down my spine. And that's not all. Tang Zui stood up and put an arm around my shoulders, his expression turning serious. Next weekend is Grandpa's birthday banquet. The entire capital's upper circle will be there. I will use that occasion to officially introduce your identity as the future young madam of the Tang Group. But before that, we need to completely eliminate one last hidden threat. Threat? I asked, confused. Seer. Tang Zui's voice grew a few degrees colder. That green tea bitch ran off with Chen Yuki's money. Do you think she'll let us go so easily? I just received news that she's using that money to bribe journalists and is planning a massive smear campaign against you at the upcoming banquet. I want to see just how tough she is to dare touch Tang Jui's woman. I was a little nervous. My hand felt ice cold. Juruo. Zhang Zui gently squeezed my hand, his warm, deep voice sounding right beside my ear as we stepped out of the car in front of the grand entrance of the Imperial Hotel. I'm a little nervous too. Today is full of the capital's biggest heavyweights. I'm afraid I'll do something wrong and embarrass you and Grandpa. I took a deep breath and quietly tightened my grip on his large, warm hand. Silly girl, you are my baby, the one I hold in the palm of my hand. You are the ancestor of the entire Tang family. In this capital, Lu Juruo can walk sideways if she wants, or tilt her chin to the sky if she wants. Anyone who dares say half a word that disrespects you, I will make disappear from the upper circle by tomorrow morning. Z leaned down, eyes so gentle they could drip water, and coaxed softly. Today, you don't have to do anything. Just stand beside me and smile beautifully. Watch me clean up the trash for you, that's enough. Lu Juruo, you vicious, cruel woman, pay with your life, give me back brother Yuki's life. The moment we were about to step onto the red carpet, a shrill, ear-piercing scream tore through the elegant atmosphere. From the crowd of waiting reporters, beyond the security cordon, Lin Kier shot out like an arrow. Z was dressed in rumpled clothes, hair a tangled mess, and collapsed dramatically at my feet. Both hands clutched the hem of my dress as she wailed pitifully. The right behind her, dozens of camera lenses and microphones flashed nonstop, aimed straight at my face like machine guns. Reporters, please stand up for justice. Please expose the demonic face of this woman. Lin Keir screamed, tears streaming down her pale, desperate face. She relied on the power of the Liu family and colluded with the Tang Heir to drive Chen Yuki's company into a dead end. She blocked every path to survival, forced the banks to demand repayment, and left brother Yuki so heartbroken that he jumped from a building this afternoon. He's in the emergency room right now, his life hanging by a thread. He committed suicide. I frowned and replied coldly. There's something wrong with his brain or with yours. You still dare stand here and put on this act? Then Keir slammed her hand on the ground and wailed even louder. Then not only did she drive him to his death, she was vicious enough to hire gangsters to block my way and rob me of the last of the savings brother Yuki left for my medical treatment. He stole the entire Chen group and wants to exterminate us completely, all because he didn't love her and chose me instead. Lu Juruo, do you even have a conscience? The reporters immediately swarmed like a stirred-up beehive, firing sharp questions at me one after another. Lu, is it true you used your influence to force Chairman Chen Yuki into jumping off a building? This. Lin has accused you of sending people to rob her assets. How do you explain this illegal behavior? Lu, we heard you destroyed your ex-boyfriend's entire career out of jealousy. Do you think you're too vicious to deserve stepping foot into the Tang family? I looked down coldly at Lin, Keir playing the tragic victim on the ground, the corner of my mouth curling slightly. Before I could open my mouth, Tang Zui stepped forward, wrapped a firm arm around my waist, and pulled me tight against his chest. Zi's tall frame shielded me completely from the blinding camera flashes. Security. Are you all blind? How did trash like this slip in here, barking nonsense? Tang Zui's voice wasn't loud, but it was ice cold and terrifying enough to freeze the entire noisy scene instantly. He pointed straight at the reporters, eyes blazing with murderous intent. Anyone who dares point another camera at Juruo, anyone who dares ask one more stupid question, I will make your entire media outlet disappear from the map tomorrow morning. The reporters instinctively stepped back in unison. Not a single one dared utter another word. The authority of the Tang Group's crown prince was not something they could toy with. Young Master Tang, you are the rightful heir of the Tang family. How could you be blinded by this vixen and cover up her crimes? Then Keir saw the reporters falter and panicked, continuing to wail and throw herself on the ground. She's a murderer. She slandered me as a green tea bitch, bought trending searches to ruin my reputation. And now she's taken the life of the man I loved most. You have to open your eyes and see her true despicable nature. Are you finished? I gently pushed Tang Jai's arm aside, stepped forward and stood directly in front of Lin Keir, looking down at her with utter contempt. If you're done playing the victim, it's my turn to ask questions. You said I forced Chen Yuki to jump off a building this afternoon. You said I sent people to steal your last savings. Yes. You said all of that with heaven and earth as witness. If I'm wrong in a single word, may lightning strike me dead. Dear. You really missed your calling as an actress. You swear such vicious oaths, aren't you afraid lightning will actually strike you? I laughed out loud. You said Chen Yuki jumped off a building. What a coincidence. Half an hour ago, I received a report from Central Hospital. Chen Yuki is indeed in the emergency room. But not because he jumped. He was beaten until both legs were broken and his skull cracked, while resisting a group of debt collectors. I paused, voice ringing clearly across the entire entrance hall. You still dare claim that money was your savings? Nast. Right after the company was sealed, the entire 30 million in cash from Chairman Chen's safe was cleaned out. The person who ran off with that money in the dead of night. The leaving Chen Yuki to face the debt collectors alone, that was you and your secret lover, the project manager named Li Kang, wasn't it? You're spitting blood and framing me. Kier's face paled with guilt, cold sweat pouring down her like a shower, yet she stubbornly clung to the reporters and kept screaming. Proof. Fine, I'll indulge you. Zhang. Zui gave a faint, mocking smile and snapped his fingers. Zidi. The manager Zhang stepped forward from behind, holding a tablet already connected to the massive LED screen used for advertising in the hotel lobby. The manager Zhang, play it for everyone to enjoy. Let's see exactly how heartbroken Miss Lin here was when her boyfriend went bankrupt. Zhang. Zui issued the order casually, then leaned down to whisper in my ear, his voice instantly softening back into that familiar gentle tone. Baby, step back a little. This show's about to get good, don't stand too close or the splash might hit you. The giant LED screen suddenly flared to life, but instead of boring bank transfer screenshots like I'd expected, it showed crystal clear security footage complete with audio. The scene was Chen Yuki's office in the early hours of that very morning. Lin Kier's face drained of all color in an instant, turning as white as a sheet. Z let out a piercing, broken scream and lunged desperately toward the control panel. No, turn it off. Turn it off right now. Who gave you permission to show this garbage? Zhang. Z swung his arm and sent her sprawling to the ground. His voice ice cold as he ordered, crank the volume to maximum. The corner of his mouth curved into the cruel, predatory smile of a hunter who had finally cornered his prey. No, turn it off. I told you to turn it off. Then, Kier shrieked wildly, clamping both hands over her ears, her whole body convulsing like she'd been electrocuted. But manager Zhang had received Tang Zui's command and showed zero mercy. The volume on the LED screen shot up to its highest level, blasting straight into the eardrums of everyone in the entrance hall. The Lin Kier's coquettish, grating voice mixed with an unfamiliar man's echoed across the entire space. Hurry up, Kang, grab every stack of cash from the safe. And don't forget that Patek Philippe watch box that Lu Juruo gave him. It's the real deal, selling it will get us a few million. Lin Kier's voice in the video was sharp with greed. Aren't you afraid that idiot Yuki will come back and catch us red-handed? The man laughed mockingly. What's there to worry about? That fool is on his knees right now begging the debt collectors outside. He won't have a life left to come back here. He really is the dumbest man in the world, led around by the nose for 3 whole years. The Yu bought him a fake tie clip from the night market, and he treated it like a treasure, while throwing away the designer stuff personally chosen by the Lu family heiress. He actually thought you were some pure, material-free saint. Without Lu Juruo's money, do you think I'd even spare him a glance? You really are a vicious little temptress. So, this is settled. What's your plan tomorrow to clear your name? The what else? I've already paid off a few news outlets. Tomorrow, I'll go to the Dizun Hotel entrance, cry and throw a tantrum, pin everything on Lu Juruo for driving Chen Yuki to suicide. Even if she had 10 mouths, she couldn't fight public opinion. Who told her to be stupid enough to love a worthless scumbag to death and end up with a bad reputation? Then the netizens will tear Lu Juruo apart. Meanwhile, you and I will take these 30 million and fly abroad to live like kings. The video ended with the disgusting laughter of the two despicable people. The entire vast entrance hall fell into a deathly silence. Dozens of camera lenses froze for a split second. Then all swung at once to focus on Lin Kier's bloodless, paper-white face. This Lin, is this the truth? You staged a robbery of Chen Yuki's assets, and then tried to frame Miss Lu. So, all those tears earlier were just an act. Do you realize how many years in prison you'll get for slander and theft? You're truly shameless and vicious. You don't even deserve to be called human. So, it's not me that's edited. The Tang family used their power to fake the video and frame me. Then, Kier collapsed to her knees, frantically swatting away the microphones shoved in her face, veins bulging on her neck as she screamed. Liu Juruo, you hate me so much you used your influence to fabricate evidence, didn't you? I lifted my chin, took one slow step forward, and laughed coldly. Heir. That footage was pulled directly from the hidden security camera, Chen Yuki himself, installed in his office to guard against thieves. Who would have guessed the real thief was his so-called pure and innocent foster sister? I faked the video. Then how do you explain the two police officers standing right behind you? Then, Heir whipped her head around in terror. Two uniformed officers had appeared at some point, holding a cold arrest warrant in their hands. Then, Heir, we received an emergency report from the hospital and the Chen group. The safe was broken into, 30 million in cash and numerous valuables vanished. Everything matches this video exactly. Furthermore, we arrested your accomplice Li Kang at the airport 15 minutes ago. Please, come with us to the station to cooperate with the investigation into theft, misappropriation of assets, and defamation. The officer's clear voice rang out as he pulled out a pair of handcuffs. I'm not going, I didn't do anything, let me go, save me, Heir thrashed in panic. Lu Juro, I'm begging you, tell them to let me go. I was wrong, I'll kneel and kowtow, I'll apologize, please forgive me. She crawled across the ground, snot and tears streaming, desperately reaching for the hem of my dress. But Tang Zi stretched out his long leg and lightly kicked her shoe, sending her tumbling several meters away. His eyes looked at her as if she were nothing but a pathetic insect. Trash shouldn't dirty my Juruo's clothes. Dang, Zui ordered in a low voice. Officers, please take her away quickly. The air here is about to be polluted beyond repair. Yes, young Master Tang. The two officers immediately hoisted Heir up by the arms and cuffed her wrists. Just as her desperate screams echoed while she was being dragged away, a hoarse voice, full of bone-deep hatred and gut-wrenching pain, rang out from behind the security cordon. Bitch, stay right there. Heir, I'm going to kill you. Give me back my money. The crowd parted automatically. Manager Zhang and several Dizun security guards were pushing a wheelchair forward. The man sitting in it had his head wrapped in blood-soaked white bandages, one leg in a cast suspended in the air, his face so bruised and swollen that his features were unrecognizable. It was Chen Yuki. He trembled as he pointed at Heir, his bloodshot eyes bulging with crimson veins like a vengeful demon. Brother Yuki, Heir froze, forgetting to cry. You're not dead. I'm not dead, so I could see your true face with my own eyes. Chen Yuki roared despite the pain. He leaned halfway out of the wheelchair, trying to lunge at her throat. But the guards held him back firmly. Because of you I offended Lu Juruo. Because of you I lost my entire empire. And in the end you took advantage of the chaos, cleaned out my life-saving money, and ran off with another man. You vile bitch, I was blind. I was truly blind to trust a venomous snake like you. Brother Yuki, listen to me, Li Kang forced me. I never intended to abandon you, you have to believe me. Heir wailed pitifully, stretching her hands toward him. Believe you. Believe you so, I could end up beaten half to death by debt collectors. Crippled and worse than dead. Chen Yuki screamed until he coughed up blood. Officers, throw her in jail. Let her rot. Give her the death penalty. I crossed my arms and watched the pathetic dog-eat-dog scene with cold indifference, then turned slightly to the man holding my waist. Zhang Zui, why is he here? Wasn't he supposed to be in the emergency room? Zhang Zui lowered his head, gently rubbing his chin against the top of my head, his voice turning soft and sweet in an instant. I was afraid this drama would only have one lead, and you wouldn't get enough satisfaction. So I specially had someone bring the male lead over to join the fun. Am I thoughtful or what, my baby? You really are the #1 schemer in the capital. I couldn't help letting out a soft laugh, hearing my laughter. Chen Yuki seemed to snap out of his frenzy. He turned his head with great difficulty and looked at me with eyes full of desperate pleading and utter regret. Tears streamed down his battered face. Juruo, I was wrong. I was truly wrong. I'm a beast, blind as a bat for letting that bitch deceive me. Juruo, for the past 3 years, only you treated me with real sincerity. Only you never abandoned me when I was at my lowest. Please, for the sake of those 3 years, save me just this once. Help me pay the debts, and I'll be your loyal ox and horse for the Liu family. I'll obey you for the rest of my life. Juro, please just look at me. I let out a weary sigh, my eyes showing not the slightest flicker of pity. Then Yuki. Right now you look even more pathetic than a stray dog. Do you think the Liu family is short on oxen and horses to ride? Or that we run a shelter for worthless cripples like you? The 3 years of affection I gave you, you tore it to shreds and threw it in the trash long ago. Even if you dropped dead right here, I wouldn't spare a single cent for your coffin. Manager Zhang, throw him out. I don't want to see this filth on my grandfather's birthday. Juruo, don't be so heartless. You still love me, don't you? You're just angry with me. Then, Yuki howled in despair as he was pushed away. But his voice was instantly drowned out by Tang Jui's deep, powerful tone. Dang, Zui gripped my hand tightly and raised it high in front of hundreds of cameras, declaring each word loud and clear. Reporters present, turn on your recorders and point your lenses at me. The trash has been completely cleaned up. The Tang Zui, official heir of the Tang Group, hereby solemnly announced to the entire capital's upper circle. Zui turned to look at me, his deep eyes overflowing with adoration so intense it took my breath away. With a smile, he continued, Liu Juruo will never again have to chase after anyone. Starting today, she is my one and only fiancée, the future young madam of the Tang family. Any person in the capital who dares offend her, utter a single word of insult, or make her shed even one tear, I Tang Zui swear to crush them into dust and make their lives a living hell. After that domineering, earth-shaking declaration, Tang Zui didn't give the reporters any chance to swarm us. He signaled Manager Zhang to block the entire entrance hall, then scooped me up in his arms and carried me straight to the most luxurious presidential suite on the top floor of the hotel, leaving the chaotic mess behind. The moment we stepped through the door, I pushed out of his embrace and glared at the cunningly smiling man leaning against the frame. Tang Zui, what exactly did you just announce in front of hundreds of cameras? Fiancée. Future young madam of the Tang family. When did I agree to be your girlfriend, and you dare promote me straight to wife? Aren't you afraid the headlines tomorrow will scream that Liu Juruo forced the capital's crown prince into marriage? Tang Zui didn't look guilty at all. Instead, he casually shrugged off his constricting vest and tossed it aside. He strode toward me with long steps, backing me up until my spine pressed against the floor-to-ceiling window. His strong arms, braced on either side of the glass, completely caging me in a space filled with his masculine mint and sandalwood scent. Didn't you tell me this morning to submit my application? Tang Zui tilted his head down until our noses nearly brushed, his husky voice full of temptation. I am the crown prince of the capital, with absolute power over the upper circle. What's wrong with using a little backdoor influence to skip the probation period and jump straight to the official position? You are such a shameless scoundrel. My face burned as I pounded my fists against his solid chest. For 10 years, I was completely fooled by your gentle, harmless appearance. Give me back my innocent puppy like best friend from before. Not happening. Tang Zui caught my flailing hands and looped them around his neck. His eyes suddenly turned extremely serious, deep, solemn, and brimming with a love so intense my heart stuttered. Juruo, I've played the role of best friend for 10 years. I'm exhausted from pretending to be the perfect brother. Do you know how many times I had to pinch myself to stop from knocking over the lunchbox every time you cooked for Chen Yuki? Every time I saw you cry because of him, every time I heard him curse you, I wanted to chop him into 1,000 pieces and feed him to the fish. I was so jealous I was going insane. Juruo, I hesitated, my throat tightening, unable to speak. Don't say anything. Just listen to me. Tang Zui gently stroked my cheek, his voice so tender it could melt. I knew that if I used the Tang family's power to crush Chen Yuki 3 years ago, You would have hated me for destroying your love. You're so stubborn you won't turn back until you've slammed headfirst into a wall. So I stepped back. I played the fool of a love strategist, guiding you step by step, so you could see his true despicable face yourself. It was better than making you resent me. I scheme against the whole world. I'm ruthless to everyone else. But the only gentleness and patience I have is reserved for you alone. Now that you're finally clear-eyed, can you use those bright eyes to look at me? Dang Zui's sincerity and overwhelming love shattered the last wall around my heart. Tears rolled down my cheeks. But this time they weren't from bitterness, they were from being moved. Dang Zui. I'm sorry, I sobbed, burying my face in the crook of his neck. For the past 3 years I was too blind. I took you for granted as my safe harbor, my best friend who would never leave, and forgot that you're also a man who can feel pain and jealousy. I really am an idiot. Yes, you're an idiot, the biggest idiot in the capital. Dang, Zui chuckled softly, wrapping his arms tightly around my waist and resting his chin on top of my head, nuzzling me with endless doting. But this idiot is the one I'm helplessly in love with. I don't need your apology, I only need you to spend the rest of your life making up for my emotional damage. What if I'm still fierce, stubborn, and scold you like I scold a child in the future? I lifted my head, blinking my teary eyes teasingly. Would the chairman's wife accept a daughter-in-law who has zero ladylike qualities? The future young madam of the Tang family isn't allowed to hit her husband, you know. The Tang family has no such rules. Tang Zui raised an eyebrow, his thumb gently tracing my smiling lips. The only rule in the Tang family is that Lu Jiruo is always right. My mother is actually hoping you'll keep me on a short leash. You can climb on my head. If you want, I'd be afraid you'd fall and catch you with both hands. The little bit of inheritance from the Tang group, plus the Chen group grandpa just gave you, is more than enough for you to smash and spend for 8 lifetimes and still have plenty left. You make it sound like I'm some tyrant. I burst into radiant laughter and hugged his neck tightly. Oh right, what about them? Chen Yuki and Lin Care. Them. A fleeting, deadly chill flashed through Tang Jui's eyes, but his voice stayed gentle. Then, Yuki was just dragged away by his old creditors. Both his legs are crippled. And now he's carrying hundreds of millions in debt. The rest of his life will be nothing but beatings, hiding like a rat, and begging for scraps in the trash. As for Lin Care grand theft, misappropriation of assets, and organized defamation. I've already assigned the capital's best lawyers to handle her case personally. She's looking at 15 to 20 years minimum. Her youth will rot away in a dark prison cell. Serves them right. True karma. I nodded with satisfaction, feeling the 3-year knot of resentment in my chest finally dissolve into thin air. Now that the trash is cleaned up, let's get back to the main matter. Dang, Zui suddenly lowered his voice, his deep, dark eyes locking onto mine. He bent slightly, pulling a deep red velvet box from his breast pocket. When he opened it, a large flawless pink diamond sparkled brilliantly under the lights, perfect and dazzling enough to make me hold my breath. Dang Zui, when did you prepare this? I stammered, my heart pounding wildly. 3 years ago. The very day you ran after Chen Yuki with a lunchbox. I had this ring custom made and waited day after day for you to wake up, so I could put it on your finger myself. Dang Zui didn't kneel. He stood tall, the proud gaze of an emperor, now filled with helpless devotion in front of me. He took my left hand, lifted it, and placed a reverent kiss on the back. Zurio, 10 years as best friends. 3 years as love strategist, I've played every role. Now that you're clear-eyed, I officially announce the cancellation of the best friend title. From this second onward, I, Tang Jui, officially take the position of your man, your shield, your husband. Will you let me use this lifetime to spoil you until the end of time? Looking into his steady, warm eyes, I knew I had finally found my true home. No more blindness, no more compromise, only pure joy and absolute love. I gave the brightest smile of the past 10 years and nodded. Do. But remember, Your application has been approved. From now on, no resignations allowed even if you beat me to death. I'm not letting go. Zhang, Z smiled with deep satisfaction. He slipped the sparkling pink diamond onto my ring finger. It fit perfectly. Then, his large hand tilted my chin up, and he lowered his head to claim my lips in a deep, passionate, the heart-melting kiss that officially closed the dark chapter of the past and opened a brilliant new one filled with perfect happiness.